Hello again, you're in the right place if you want to know who can benefit and take part in a clinical trial and what the reasons are for doing so. If you've already seen our first video on clinical trials, you'll already know that children and adolescents with cancer mainly take part in what are known as therapy optimization studies. These are conducted at almost all pediatric oncology centers in Germany, so it's very likely that you will have the opportunity to take part in such a study. As a rule, your treatment team will check whether such a therapy optimization study is an option for you. So you don't have to worry about it yourselves, but will be approached by your doctors in case there is a suitable study for you. In general, to be able to participate in a clinical trial, you have to meet certain requirements. Every study is planned in such a way that there are certain inclusion and exclusion criteria. These include, for example, the type of cancer involved and the stage of the disease, the physical condition, how old someone is, and what other treatments have already taken place. All these criteria make perfect sense because this is the only way to ensure that the right patients end up in the right study. That is, those who are very likely to be helped by the new or optimized treatment. So, and that brings us to the reasons why you might want to take part in a clinical trial. In therapy optimization studies, the aim is usually to investigate how an already optimized standard treatment can be improved even further. For this, the participants are divided into different groups. These are also called study arms. One group then receives the already known standard therapy, and in the other group, the treatment regimen is changed slightly. This can be, for example, a different dosage or a new combination. Which study arm you are assigned to is decided by chance. It's very important to note, even if you are assigned to the arm with the usual standard therapy, this can have advantages because you will then be monitored and cared for particularly closely. Apart from that, it is important to know that you also help to drive medical progress and make future therapies better and more gentle for others. That may sound like just a nice side effect at first, but it can really change the lives of other people for the better. But it can also be the case that there is no suitable study for you at the moment. Sometimes that's the case. That means you will receive the treatment that is currently the best. If you agree, your data can be documented in a registry. We already discussed what a registry is in the last video, so if you haven't seen it yet, feel free to catch up. Whether you are eligible to participate in a clinical trial is discussed by your treatment team with various experts, for example in Germany with the Society for Pediatric Oncology and Hematology. Specific study groups each deal with only one very specific type of cancer in children. In addition, there are also regional networks for early clinical trials of phase 1 and 2. These networks consist of specialized clinics and research centers that work closely together and are involved in conducting such studies. If applicable, your treatment team will also inquire about which studies are currently running, who can participate, and where they are offered. Because what must be said at this point is that phase 1 and 2 trials are often only conducted at a few centers, because there are only a few children with certain types of cancer. This can mean that you might also have to travel a longer distance for it. If you want to participate and a pharmaceutical company is conducting the trial, then the costs for travel and accommodation will be covered. However, if the study is conducted by an organization like a university hospital or other clinics, this is unfortunately usually not possible. However, if standard therapies don't help, or if there has been a relapse, then an early phase study like this can sometimes still open a door and give new hope. But no matter how you decide, the important thing to remember is participation in a clinical trial is always voluntary. And you also have the option to drop out at any time, even without having to give any reasons for it. So you are always in the driver's seat. And should you decide against participating in a trial, or if there are other reasons not to, it remains the case that you will, of course, still always receive the best available therapy. That's obvious, of course. So, and if you would like more information now, feel free to also check out the next videos. There, among other things, we explain exactly how such a clinical trial works, and why it's not so easy to develop new treatments for children and adolescents.